this would be mid 90s. This is 94. Mid 90s hip hop. OC, or the OC, however you want to call it. OC in this
I
case.
think just OC,
Word.
yeah.
OC, yep. Word, ellipses, life is this one. He is part of a collective. There is a Pharaoh Monch sighting on this album too. Did you catch that? I don't know how familiar you are with his lyrical stylings, but he's one of my favorite. Yeah, are you familiar with it? He's one of my favorite MCs of later in the decade. So
Yeah, I associate him with kind of like the backpack rappers of like Talib Kweli and Mos Def and stuff, but I never really listened to him too much.
yeah, I don't think he was part of the collective that OC was in. If I remember correctly, the collective that OC is in, the biggest name out of it was Fat Joe.
Yeah,
actually.
I know, which is crazy when I saw that list.
Which I do not in any way associate Fat Joe with like this, but I'll tell you, man, this album was awesome. This was a really, really good hip hop album.
Agreed.
It like bridges the gap between like, what Gangstar and especially like Guru, was doing with Jazzmatazz around this time. This is around the time of that Nas Illmatic album and stuff, and this fits nicely in the context of that. It's the lyrics are strong throughout.
Yes,
The bars are good. There's a lot of focus on like what makes an authentic MC and what doesn't. I would put this in the jazz rap category, where most of the beats, which the beats are excellent on this album. But the beats have a little bit of an why it's jazz rap is they're influenced as much by jazz as they are things like funk or soul or other hip hop, right? Which is where a lot of beats are coming from. And so because of that, it gives it, I always feel like good rap that has the jazz samples that throughout it has like a gravitas that other hip hop doesn't have. It makes it just seem,
I know exactly what you mean.
yeah, a little bit more mature, a little bit more weighty, right? Like what's being said. You don't have to get, you
can't hide
get
behind stuff in production.
Well, you get the groove and a beat that is not too minimalistic, that it's not there. You're here for the beats, but the beats aren't stealing from the lyrical content, right? And because of it, the beat gives space for you to be able to see what's being said in the overall song. And just time and time again, as these songs unplayed, I was interested in the narrative that was being told. I thought the flow fit perfectly with the beat. This is a really well produced album. I have absolutely no idea how this wasn't more on my radar, because it absolutely hits my lane. And also, like I said, it wasn't like the early 90s when stuff like this, stuff like Brand Nubian and Native Tongues type stuff is still staying under the radar a little bit. Like we're getting to the era now where a lot of stuff that has this type of sound, like Mobb Deep is not jazz rap, but it's sort of a similar storytelling narrative, and Nas and just a lot of stuff coming out of New York that have, Wu-Tang, right? A lot of that sort of stripped down, interesting sample choices, interesting production is starting to get into the mainstream of hip hop. So I don't know if he just didn't have the record company support or something happened, but it just feels like this was a lost gem this week. I felt like it was like this was a discovery. And from how you're co-signing me on this, it sounds like you feel the same way, Josh.
Yeah, I kind of pride myself in at least knowing a lot of different rap and rappers, and at least being aware by name of them, and I did not know OC at all, and this is definitely an excellent record and a hidden gem for sure. I guess he's considered like underground hip hop as well, which is maybe why it never like rose to me being aware of him, but he is really strong. His crew, just to clarify, is known as Digging in the Crates crew, so it's like practically CTS crew.
The CTS crew, yeah.
Yeah, basically. And I agree. I saw Fat Joe in that crew, and it's like, wow, his songs, Lean Back is not like this album. Or
I mean, they have the same accent.
Yes, that's true. They are from Brooklyn, right? I think, yeah. And the, it's just... like
you don't say, they're from Brooklyn.
Right.
Really? Yeah.
He's also is associated with J. Rue the Damager, who he covered on a single. That was another strong single. And I hear completely what you're saying. It's like there's something about this style of rap makes me take it more seriously, and makes me like sit up and listen for some reason. It's like, okay, this guy's just like pure rapping, and it really is just him on every song. There is no, that's another thing when you can't hide behind like guest rappers on an album.
It's like
or
the
throw on
Rakim thing.
Yes. Yes.
It's right there, and it's like, I'm so good that I'm going to throw stuff out with
Yep.
enough beat that you could bob your head, but not so much that it gets in the way. So I do think that's a little bit of an inspiration as well.
And I think you have to be a really strong rapper and writer in order to do that, and OC is that. I agree with you. Standout tracks for me include Ozone, Time's Up, which is basically, like you said, like a commentary on battle rappers that has got like this menacing beat, and it's just, he's not like, also too, he's kind of got like Rakim, he's not like super like in your face in his rapping. He's just kind of like not monotone, but he just lays it all out there without there being kind of like aggression in a way.
The only thing he's confrontational about is not like shooting up the streets or chasing your woman. It's more like, if you don't have the skills, this offends me to some degree. You have to come correct. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The confrontation is more like, I would like your skills to improve more.
Yep.
And I'm annoyed by the fact that your skills are being neglected for whatever else is going on. Not enough time, getting distracted by stuff. But, he doesn't have like the astrology and the wordplay, right? That and the in rhyme that Rakim has. But you're right. It's got some similarities.
And he doesn't always, like a lot of the rap we've listened to recently, be it West Coast or East Coast, is writing, talking about crime. He doesn't necessarily do that either. I think he does have some story songs on here. I think the one that I'm thinking of is
Point of Views.
Yeah. Is that the one about the drug dealing family and the guys? That's what I'm thinking of. The Colombian Necktie Line. I can't remember what song that one's off of. Anyway, I'll have to go back and look into it. But Point of Views is a good song. I like Constables, the song after that. It's about where the chorus is like, police be clocking me. That's just kind of a serious but I don't know, just an excellent use of a sample. And it's a long album, I would say. It's almost 53 minutes, but every song has something of value, and I really enjoyed listening to this. And the more I listened to it, the more I enjoyed it and dialed in onto like what he was. When Amazon doesn't have like the lyrics that you can follow along with, it forces me to listen, especially when I like the rapping more. So I got something out of that as well.
Yeah, I would also put Let It Slide on the best tracks list. It's basically an homage to just kind of, when drama presents itself, just step away from it and let it slide. So he gives a series of that's like almost
a borderline like single, I would say, too, with the chorus. But that's a good one as well. There really is no like weak track on here. It's just kind of like which one's better than the other.
Yeah, there's some pretty good bars in Let It Slide too. It's probably my favorite song lyrically as well. So just so you know, for the two I picked Let It Slide and Time's Up, which is the big song off of this. I vaguely feel that I know that song, and I don't know if I know it from the radio or if I know it from its use in another piece of media. I'll have to look into like where it might have come from, but
the story song I might be thinking of is Story, which is like the
story. Yes,
that's
the Colombian Necktie one. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Paints a vivid picture on that one as well. But good stuff. This is, I'm glad we cover. I'm always glad when we cover rap that I am not aware of.
Yeah, this is one of the stronger rap albums of the decade for me so far. I wouldn't say it's the best or top three, but it's going to be. It very well could represent itself when we have like the hidden gems and we give like seemingly like 60 albums between the three of us. Like, check this out. But I could see this coming just because I was unaware of the artist completely, and it feels like I should be aware. And to me, that's always what the perfect hidden gem is. And between this and Velvet Crush, two things under the radar, and both of them I enjoyed, and I'm glad we listened to them.
Yeah, definitely.
So
Always, this is always when the bonus episodes shine, when we get these albums that would not have been covered otherwise.